A lot of people are going to disagree with this, but ranking every version of Batman from worst to best. Now, keep in mind, I think pretty much every actor's portrayal of this character has been at least good to decent, with the exception of George Clooney's Batman, which comes in at a dead last place, and it's dead last by a country mile. The movie Batman and Robin is an absolute disaster anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered if he gave a great performance, really. The movie still would have been bad, but this was just an absolute mismatch of an actor and a character, and it did not work whatsoever. And I feel like George Clooney at least knew while filming how bad it was, because I swear there's certain moments, especially when he's Bruce Wayne, where it looks like he's about to just crack up and start laughing in the middle of a line read. And I don't really feel bad about trashing George Clooney's version of Batman, because he's even gone out in interviews and says that he always apologizes for Batman and Robin and how he thought that he ruined the franchise with how bad the movie was. So George, I forgive you. At number 8, I have Ben Affleck's Batman, obviously from the DCEU. Now, I don't really feel like he ever got the fair enough chance, because he didn't even get a Batman solo movie, which I think could have been really interesting with this version of the character. But from what we did get from him, honestly, it was not my favorite version of the Batman. I think a lot of the reason this version of the character didn't connect to me is a lot of the Zack Snydering up that he did of this character and making it like this more like, oh, I'm gonna use guns and do all these different things, which I just don't want from Batman, honestly. Number 7 is a definite jump up in quality, because this is a really good performance. It's Will Arnett as the voice of the Lego Batman. He does exactly what the role asks for him, gives a really good comedic Batman performance. Well, I guess it obviously is like kind of a goofy Batman voice on purpose. I do think Will Arnett is doing a very good job at the Batman voice in this film. At number 6, I'm going with Adam West's classic version of Batman. Yes, obviously this is a little bit dated nowadays since this was so long ago and comes off a little bit goofy, but I still appreciate this version of the character. And it's still just an iconic performance that you can go back to. I just rewatched the 1966 Batman and had an absolute blast with it. Lots of it because of his performance of the character, and it opened up the door for so many more versions of this character later on. At number 5, I'm going with Val Kilmer's Batman from Batman Forever. I honestly feel like this is one of the most underrated versions of the character we've ever seen, and I really wish we got to see him as this character in more films, honestly. Especially his version of Bruce Wayne. I feel like he just absolutely had it down for the smooth, slick talking, but kind of douchey version of that character, and I absolutely loved it. And I'll never understand why some people will have him towards the bottom of the list right next to George Clooney. I really think he did a great job. At number 4, I have the legend himself, Michael Keaton. Absolutely a legend and one of my favorite actors of all time, and he does such a great job as both Bruce Wayne and Batman, and is an absolute blast in those films. He plays it so super seriously, and it's what I really love about his version of the character. At number 3 is the Robert Pattinson Batman from The Batman. Now, honestly, after part 2, he could honestly rise up to 2 or easily 1. I just need to see a little bit more of this character, because the other ones have had more screen time above him. But from what I have seen so far, he is absolutely nailing it as this character, both the Bruce Wayne and Batman side. I love this more like emo, loner, kind of loser version of Bruce Wayne that just does not care whatsoever about the whole like public facade side of things. Also, make sure to hit that like button and comment down below your top 3 favorite Batmans of all time. Number 2 for me is Christian Bale. Now, I might be slightly biased because Christian Bale is one of my favorite actors of all time, and he's in the Dark Knight trilogy directed by one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan. But even trying to put my biases aside, I still think he is an absolutely incredible version of this character. I love his Bruce Wayne and his Batman. The only way you can take points off of him is the Bat voice, which is, yes, pretty terrible. But it's not like it ruins the movies or anything for me. But at number 1, I have to go with the legend himself, Kevin Conroy. One of the most iconic and just recognizable voice performances of all time. He's voiced his character in so many different performances and projects before. And I feel like sometimes people don't want to give voice actors the number 1 spot because, oh, you're not doing the physical acting. But I'm sorry, he is Batman in every sense of the way to me. If you haven't watched it yet, I also ranked all the Joker actors, so click below to watch that video right now. I'd really appreciate it.